Wilson. I'm back again today, and I'm going to be using the Poinsettia stained glass die, but I thought I would show you how to use it in little pieces. So it's not just a background for your card. So we will introduce you to the items we'll be using. We have the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas die as our sentiment. Here is your Poinsettia stained glass. Now it's important to note too that this die set, if you want to use it as is, can be used that direction or that direction too, so it's quite versatile. The holly swirl we'll be doing a bit of accenting with, and we're going to do some embossing with our Poinsettia trellis embossing folder. Okay. So I'll start there, and what we're going to do first is cut an aperture. Now for that, I'm going to be using the double pierced noble ovals, and I'm just going to take one of the middle size dies here and cut myself an aperture. We'll just put that right about in the center. And let me bring in my cutting plate. You want to do any of your cutting as far as apertures and whatnot before you do embossing, because otherwise it would just get squished when you ran it back through the machine. Take that off. You can obviously use that for another time. And let me give you a quick measurement before I go too much further. On the coconut white card, I have cut it at 6 inches by 7 inches. Okay, so now we will place this in our Poinsettia trellis. And this one's a nice folder that it gives you both a positive and negative that you can use quite easily, but you do have a bit of a geometric pattern, so you kind of want to put it in fairly straight. You don't want it in there wonky. I've got one I've done earlier, so I will switch over to that one. So it's just your paper in your folder and the raspberry adapter. And there we go. So we've got a really lovely emboss with that, as you can see. Now I have gone ahead and added a little bit of a border around mine. I love doing this, especially on festive cards, because it really just draws the eye into the frame. Is add a little bead of the Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear and then put the ice snow on top of it and just let it dry. I've done that on many videos, so you've seen that done before. So I'll pop that to the side. So the next thing I want to do is I want to center this over another piece, and I decided to add a bit of vellum just to soften the white and kind of draw your eye in a little bit. So I want to put this onto place, but I'm going to add in some of my poinsettias. Now I went ahead and cut the poinsettia die, added it to a bit of acetate, and from the back I filled in the areas so I have this as a glittered piece. And then I just cut them out. So you can go back through and cut them out with scissors. I find it's easier if you just cut around it, and then you can take and go back with your scissors, hold it into place very, very easily, trim along that, and just cut away the bits of acetate that are left over. So you can see how easy this is to do once it's all nice and dry. It's easy to handle, no problem. So I've gone ahead and done that with a few of these. So this one I'm going to put on top, so we'll leave that till later. And these I've decided to kind of work them underneath the frame. So I've added a little bit of mounting foam to the back here. So if we just take off the corners here, we can probably just position this so it sticks out a little bit from underneath the frame and just kind of peeks out from under there, and one of the smaller ones just a little bit to the side here. And if we don't pick up the mounting foam, what we can do is just add in a little bit of glue on the edge and hold that so it stays right there. Okay, so I'll have a nice little poinsettia accent coming through from the bottom. So I'm going to continue taking off the rest of the backing paper. There we go. Right here. And I've got a little bit around the ovals just to keep it nice and propped up. Pop that down in place over our vellum. Okay. I also wanted to add a tiny bit of an accent to the top of this. So what I did is I went ahead and cut a very thin frame using the ovals, added a little bit of mounting foam. So I'm just going to go ahead and add that extra bit of accent around the top of that. And that really does bring out the pierced look going around the edge. I think that's quite pretty. Okay, just like that. And like I said, we're going to add this one to the top, so I think I'll use a glue dot. If you use regular dries clear glue, it's fine. You will probably see the glue through it until it dries completely, so don't panic. But you can use either. Put that into place right on the top corner, or the bottom corner right there. And I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll bring this over and get it set up on our background and work upwards from there. A little bit of foam in the middle. Seat that in between the piercing, and I've got a red and black layer just to kind of draw those same colors in. So I've cut the Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas as our center accent, and I want to just put a shadow onto it. So I've cut it in both the vintage gold and the black card. So I'm going to take this one and just give it a little bit of spray glue on the back. And I'm going to offset the black one here just ever so slightly. So you can see you've got just a really nice little accent shadow coming through. And I'm just going to add that with another bit of spray glue. Pop that right into the middle. So now that I have my poinsettias on, I can see where I want to put that. So we're just going to do a bit of accenting. So I've cut several of the holly swirls out of the gold. We are just going to nip some pieces away from these. It's a nice big swirl, so you can easily take little areas and cut it apart and just add it where you like. So put a little bit of glue on this. This makes a nice little curly Q coming off just from the inside here. We can do that. We can add this up to the top underneath here, coming off that way. Trim this one maybe even a little shorter. And I'll have that coming in a little bit more, and that'll take up more of that bottom area on your oval. I'm going to cut this a little bit down. Oops. We can add that just by lifting it underneath the edge of that top poinsettia a tiny bit. There we go. So that curl kind of goes up and around. So many different things you can do with this one. I just love this swirl. Put a little bit down here. And none of the pieces really ever go to waste. You can use them. Both ends of it are really nice to use, and I'm going to just trim that one. We'll add that coming out down here. Lots of nice little accents. There we go. So you can see how you can use your stained glass as a partial just to add a really pretty sparkly element to your card. Love how it looks with the aperture. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, and you'll join us on our YouTube channel soon.